Welcome back to the coin world, old coin review and value. Today, we're diving deep into the rich history of the 1958 Liberty Lincoln penny, a coin that marked the end of an era and holds a special place in numismatic history. The 1958 penny was the last Lincoln sent to feature wheat ears on the reverse. This made it not just another coin, but a significant piece of American history, closing the chapter on the beloved wheat penny series. The Lincoln Cent series began in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first U.S. coin to depict a real person rather than a symbolic figure like Lady Liberty. Victor David Brenner, the designer, created both the obverse and reverse. The obverse featured Lincoln's right-facing bust, while the reverse displayed two stylized wheat ears symbolizing agricultural abundance and national prosperity. The 1958 version retained Brenner's classic design, but what made this year so pivotal was that it marked the last issue of the wheat design before transitioning to the Lincoln Memorial reverse. In 1959, despite the high mintage, the 1958 penny remains popular because of its symbolic importance as the final wheat penny and the last of a historic 50-year run. Numismatists consider 1958 a transitional year. As with many transitional years, some rare varieties and mint errors emerged, making the 1958 penny more valuable to collectors than you might expect. One of the rarest known errors is the 1958 double die obverse DDO penny. This error shows prominent doubling on the date and lettering like Liberty and In God We Trust. Only 3 confirmed examples of the 1958 DDO exist, making it one of the rarest and most valuable Lincoln-1 varieties in the entire series. In fact, a 1958 double die penny sold for over $1 million at auction, shocking collectors and making headlines in the coin community. This doubling is believed to have occurred due to a flaw in the die-making process, where a single die received two misaligned impressions during hubbing. Most 1958 pennies you find will be regular strike coins without errors, but condition still plays a big role in value. In circulated condition, 1958 pennies are worth just a few cents, maybe $1 or $2, but in mint state, especially MS65 or higher, they can fetch $10 to $50, depending on the grade and mint mark. Red designation, which refers to the coin's bright copper appearance, is the most desired in uncirculated condition. Red examples in MS67 can reach values above $150. Many collectors also search for proof like strikes, die cracks, and off-center errors from this year, though they're not as valuable as the DDO. The Denver minted 1958D penny is far more common than the Philadelphia version due to its massive mintage numbers. In the context of the series, the 1958 penny closes out a 50-year legacy that began in the Progressive era and survived 2 world wars, the Great Depression, and the post-war boom. The 1958 penny reminds us how U.S. coins reflect broader historical and cultural shifts, from honoring past presidents to symbolizing national growth. Collecting 1958 pennies can also be a gateway to assembling a complete set of Lincoln wheat cents from 1909 to 1958, including key dates like 1909 SVDB, 191 for D, and 1931. Some collectors focus on creating complete sets by mint mark and color designation, red, red-brown, and brown, with 1958 as the closing chapter. Interestingly, 1958 was also the year the U.S. prepared for significant changes in coinage composition. The 1960s would bring rising metal costs and new minting innovations. The 1958 penny continues to appear in old jars, bank rolls, and estate finds, a quiet relic of mid-century America. Its copper content alone makes it more valuable than a modern zinc penny. Pre-1982 cents, including the 1958, contain 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. Teachers and parents often use the 1958 penny in educational settings to teach students about history, economics, and even metallurgy. The 1958 penny has also become a favorite in jewelry and crafts, especially among those who appreciate vintage Americana. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a beginner, the 1958 Liberty Lincoln penny is a perfect coin to study, admire, and own, not just for its monetary value, but for its rich legacy. So, next time you spot a 1958 penny in your change, take a closer look. Who knows, it might just be a rare treasure waiting to be discovered. The 1958 Lincoln penny emerged at the tail end of a post-war economic boom in the United States, as the country embraced new technology, suburban growth, and interstate expansion. Coinage like the Lincoln cent remained a symbol of continuity. The wheat reverse, first introduced in 1909, had served the nation for nearly half a century. The decision to replace it in 1959 wasn't taken lightly, as the design had become iconic. One key reason for the change in 1959 was to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, leading to the creation of the Lincoln Memorial reverse. While the public largely accepted the change, in 1959, many coin collectors in 1958 were saddened to see the wheat design go, marking the end of what they viewed as a classical and elegant reverse. Prior to 1958, several changes had been proposed to modernize U.S. coinage. The penny was seen as outdated by some, and there were early discussions, even in the 1950s, about phasing out the 1-cent piece. Nevertheless, the Lincoln cent persisted due to its familiarity and deep association with the 16th president, whose leadership during the Civil War remained a strong point of national pride. In 1958, the U.S. Mint was under the direction of William H. Brett, who oversaw coinage production during a time of high economic activity. His focus was on efficiency and maintaining quality during high-volume minting. The Mint in 1958 was still using traditional die engraving techniques, though by the next decade, computer-aided technology would start influencing coin design. Many coin experts believe that the 1958 double die penny may have escaped quality control due to the rushed nature of high mintage runs during that year. For years, the 1958 double die obverse was thought not to exist. It wasn't until the 1980s that the first verified specimen appeared, shocking the numismatic world. As of today, only 3 examples of the 1958 DDO are known, all struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and each has sold for over 6 figures at auction. These rare 1958 DDO cents are certified by leading grading companies like PCGs and NGC, often given high premiums due to their scarcity and dramatic doubling. Meanwhile, common 1958 and 1958D cents have become popular starter coins for young collectors due to their availability and affordability in circulated grades. Many baby boomers remember receiving 1958 pennies in their allowance or lunch money, making the coin a nostalgic piece of 1950s Americana. The 1958 Lincoln cent obverse still bore Victor D. Brenner's initials, VDB, which were reinstated in 1918, on the obverse shoulder of Lincoln after being removed from the reverse in 1909. Despite their simplicity, the wheat years on the reverse had rich symbolism representing growth, prosperity, and the American farmer. The penny's continued use into the 21st century has made it a point of debate, but coins like the 1958 wheat penny represent a time when even the smallest denominations carried powerful symbolism. Several collectors have made it a goal to collect all 50 years of wheat pennies, from 1909 to 1958, with the 1958 often serving as the final coin in a display set. One interesting trend has been the rise of roll hunters, people who search through rolls of pennies from banks in hopes of finding pre-1959 wheat pennies, including the elusive 1958 DDO. Because 1958 pennies are made of 95% copper, they've also attracted attention from bullion buyers, especially during spikes in copper prices. In the 1970s and 1980s, copper prices rose to the point that people began hoarding pre-1982 pennies, including 1958 issues, for their melt value even though melting them was illegal. The 1958 Lincoln cent has appeared in multiple books and price guides, including the Red Book, a guidebook of United States coins, where it is listed as the final wheat cent. The coin is also used in educational programs by the American Numismatic Association to teach young collectors about mint marks, grading, and coin preservation. In terms of grading, the 1958 penny is most valuable in MS67 Road Red, where it can command prices from $100 to $300. Depending on the market, its simplicity also makes it a prime candidate for counterfeiting, especially attempts to mimic the rare DDO. Authenticity and third-party certification are key when buying high-value examples. 1958 pennies have also been found in time capsules and buried hoards, often wrapped in original paper bank rolls, marked by now-defunct banks from the 1950s. The 1958 penny has made appearances in pop culture, including TV shows, documentaries, and YouTube channels like this one, where its history is explored in depth. It's also common to see the 1958 penny used in jewelry, belt buckles, and novelty items celebrating 1950s Americana. Ultimately, the 1958 Liberty Lincoln penny stands as more than just a piece of copper. It's a symbol of legacy, transition, and American craftsmanship at a time when the nation was poised for cultural change. So whether you collect for fun, investment, or historical appreciation, the 1958 Lincoln penny is a must-have. Its story is long, rich, and truly timeless. Thank you for watching. To like and subscribe to the Coin World.